So just to recap, we found our perfect intersections here, our perfect points, and then you just have to go between two dots. So I went down 1 over 2. Now I did want to show you one other thing. So let's pretend you selected two dots that were further apart. Okay, what if you did like this dot and this dot? Okay, I would count down 1, 2, 3, and write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I would have down 3, right 6. Well, what does negative 3, 6 reduce to?
Negative 1
1/2.
Negative 1/2. So do you notice that they end up equaling the same thing? So it doesn't matter which 2 points you take on your graph, as long as they are good points.
So
Okay.
you can go up as much as you want.
Up or down, yes. Okay. Just remember that you're always doing rise over run. So for our next one, we're looking for those nice intersections. So for example, I see one here, and then as I follow my graph down, I don't see another one until right here. Yes.
What about like right there?
If you look at your paper, they are not perfect. I'll see if I can zoom. I can't zoom in anymore. But like right here, it's not perfect. It has to cross so perfectly. Okay. So then I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, it was a negative 7.
And over 4.
And then over 1, 2, 3, 4. Now 7/4 cannot be simplified. And you don't write it as a mixed number. So this is how we're going to record the slope. Okay, negatives are going down from left to right.
Wait, okay, so how do you know it's negative?
Because you're going down.
Well, I moved down first. But the other thing, if you just glance at this sheet of paper, I know that this graph is negative because it's going downhill from left to right. I know 2 is going to be a negative. I know 3 is going to be a positive slope. I know 4 is going to be a positive, and actually 5 is also going to be positive. So I know that ahead of time. I don't know the slope yet until I do the counting, but I do know that it's going to be positive or negative. Okay, yes.
Can't you also do like what you did, like the negative 7?
Yep, so then this would have been like on number 2, it would have been a positive 7, but a negative 4. Okay, so the negative still would be in there someplace. Okay, so let's go to number 3. Let's find those perfect points. I see one right here. Okay, and then I don't think I see another perfect intersection until right down here. Okay, so I told you guys that I go left to right, so I'm going to start on the lower point on the left-hand side, and I'm going to go up. So I went up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 blocks. So that's a positive 5. And then I'm going to go to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So our answer is 5 sevenths. Yes.
How do you know if it's positive again?
If it's going up or down. If you're going up and then right, then it's going to be a positive.
Yeah, so the up movement is a positive and the right movement is a positive.
But it still could be a negative.
If you do it the other way.
So you have to understand that it can't, the slope can't just turn negative. You can count negatively, like I'll just show you really quick on this one. I could go down 5, and so that'd be a negative, and left 5, and that would be a negative. But then you would have a negative 5 and a negative 7, which gives you a positive 5 sevenths.
Oh.
Okay, so these are negative, but 2 negatives make a positive. So no matter what, it's not like you can have negative and I can have a positive. It doesn't work that way. Okay. Okay, so number 4, let's find some nice points here. I see one right here, here, here. I like to pick the 2 closest to each other. So I would just go up 1, right 2, 1 over 2, rise over run.
Why is there 3 points?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a couple more.
No, what I'm telling you that it doesn't, I could put points all the way across my graph. That's fine. You only have to pick between 2 points. So I just picked the two closest to each other. If I pick the two furthest away from each other, it would be 2/4, which reduced to 1/2. Yes.
Why'd you put 3 points on it?
I just was showing you, I was just demonstrating, look at the nice intersections. I was just pointing out to you, these are all points that are considered nice intersections. Okay?
That's what I did.
Okay. You don't have to have them there. You just have to find 2 nice points. Okay, so I want you guys to try number 5 on your. So the next portion of this, you are going to find the slope with a slope formula. So our slope formula, I gave it to you yesterday, but we didn't practice it. So the slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1.
You gave this to us.
I know, I said I gave it to you, but we didn't use it. Okay, so you have to remember that slope is the rise over the run, which you guys have been counting on the graph. But when they give you 2 ordered pairs, you don't have a graph, so you can't count them. So what you do is you subtract them. When you subtract them, you get the difference. So it's kind of like counting squares mathematically. Okay, and the same thing with the x's. So there's a couple of, these aren't super difficult, but there's a couple important steps to follow. The first is when you get an ordered pair, you need to label them x1, y1, x2, y2. So notice the first one has an x and a y, but they're my 1s. The second one has an x and a y, but they're my 2s. And then what you're going to do is you're going to very carefully plug them into our formula here. Okay. So 11, on the ones that I labeled, what was my y2? 4. Okay, perfect. And Lauren, what was my y1? Well, look at my paper. What is my y1? Negative 18. So I'm going to write 4 minus negative 18 because I took y2 minus y1. That's on the top. Okay, Kira, what is my x2?
Negative 3.
Perfect. So I'm going to put a negative 3 on the bottom, and then it's going to be minus, and then Tori, what's my x1? Just positive 13, that's right. So this is where you guys can practice doing your positive negatives, or you can use the calculator. I think in this type of thing, your calculator might be helpful. So on this, I want you to type it in as exactly as it looks. So you're going to type in 4 minus negative 18. You see that? 4 minus negative 18, and you're going to press equals, and you get 22. So on the top, we have a 22. On the bottom, you have a negative 3 minus 13, and
Equal 10.
I get a negative 16 because you're at a negative and you're taking away more negative is what is happening. Okay, so now your job though is to simplify this. So what number could go into both 22 and 16?
4.
No, not 4.
No.
How about 2? Okay, so we get 11 eighths, and that's as simple as it can go. And then you're just going to put a negative out in front. So your answer is negative 11 eighths. And that's how you're going to write your answer. Question, or are you just going to give me an answer?
No.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so let's do the same thing. Your first thing that you're going to do is label your x and y. So x1, y1, x2, y2. And then we are going to put them into our equation. Okay. Lillian, what is my y2? My y2. $15. Yep. Okay. Jaden, what is my y2? Or my y1, sorry.
2.
2, yep. Okay, Maura, what's my x2? My x2, what's my x2?
4.
4 right here, yep. So it's gonna be 4. Annie, what is my x1? 8. Okay. I trust that you guys can do some of these in your head. So 15 minus 2 is
13.
13. If you have 4 and you take away 8,
Negative 4.
negative 4, okay? Negative 13 fourths, you can't simplify it, so you're just gonna write it like that.
Negative?
It is negative, I just put it on the front. Okay. Number 8. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. The first ordered pair is an X and Y, but they're my 1s. The second one is an X and a Y, but they're my 2s. Okay, Maddie Reed,
That's me.
what is my Y2?
Negative 5.
That's right. And Michaela, what's my Y1? 10. Kennedy, what is my X2? 10. And Lydia, what is my X1?
Negative 11.
That's right. So notice how I put that in parentheses because I have a minus a negative. If you guys are comfortable doing these calculations, if you have negative 5 and you take away 10 more, you end up at a negative 15. Anytime you subtract a negative, it really ends up as addition. So 10 plus 11 is 21. Now 15 21st can be simplified because they can both be divided by 3. So, well, how many times is
5.
Yep, 5. And then 5 sevenths, and it is negative. So this one's a negative 5 sevenths. Okay, why don't, okay, so if you look at number 9, okay, Gracelyn, what is my Y2? 19, awesome. Okay, Eli, what is my Y1?
Your Y1 is negative 6.
That's correct, awesome. Okay, Charlie, what is my X2? 14. And Peyton, what is my X1?
7.
That's right. Okay, so now if you take a 19 and you subtract a negative, you can do this on your calculator, or if you remember, you're adding the opposite. So 19 plus 6 is, Maddie, go ahead.
19 plus 6?
Yep,
That's 29.
25. Okay. That's okay. You were very
Good
confident though.
Good effort.
So
You gotta,
four-
You know,
you gotta.
14 minus 7 is 7. And 25 sevenths cannot be simplified, so that is your final answer.
I have an example because I said 29, but I actually had it on 5.
Yeah, I believe you. Okay. So you should have arrived at 25 sevenths. Our next one, X1, Y1, X2, Y2. Okay. Kamora, what is my Y2?
10.
10. And Kelsey, what is my Y1? You see my Y1 right here? What is it? Pardon? Negative 14. So you subtract a negative 14. On the bottom, Owen, what is my X2? Oh, X2. Pardon? my x2 is negative 17. And then my x1 is 8. So it is, I've had a couple questions. Is it important to follow this formula? It is important. If you don't do it the right way, you're going to end up with the wrong answer. Remember, if you subtract a negative, it ends up as addition. So this would be 24. If you have a negative and you subtract something, you're actually becoming more negative. So this would give you a negative 25. And you cannot simplify 24 25ths, and so that is your final answer. Okay.